There may be a possibility that there's intelligent life moving this object our way. I remember Harvard astrophysicist Elon together with 2 other scientists has just dropped a bombshell, a threat capable of wiping out our human race. They found out an alien spacecraft hidden inside a comet. A supposed comet is catching the attention of some of the nation's most renowned scientists. As one Harvard professor is raising the theory, this may actually be a piece of alien technology. Wait, this isn't just idle speculation. They've published their scientific research paper associating with NASA and titled it, "Is this interstellar object 3I alien technology?" The trajectory of this object is very peculiar. It actually lies in the orbital plane of the planets around the Sun. Stephen Hawking warned us decades ago, don't send signals into space because if someone hears us, they might come. But we ignored him. For over a century, we've been broadcasting signals into space. And now, something's here. At first, NASA dismissed it as just another comet. But after studying its precise orbit, its strange path past multiple planets, and its upcoming disappearance behind the Sun, along with NASA's own trajectory illustrations, Loeb's team says there's now a 99% chance that this is a spacecraft in disguise, and that there is a reason NASA is building Shield 3 spacecraft aimed at developing rapid response intercept missions. In this video, we'll break down the published research, examine every scientific claim and piece of evidence pointing to this as an alien spacecraft in disguise and connected to Stephen Hawking's chilling warning. So, first sign is the speed of this interstellar. Early size estimates suggest that it could be up to 20 kilometers across, about the size of Manhattan, though Harvard astrophysicist Elon suspects that it may be smaller, with the apparent size due to surrounding clouds of dust. Even though its speed is astonishing, roughly 255,000 kilometers or 152,000 miles per hour, no known comet can travel this fast without some form of external propulsion. Taken with its unusual path and precise planetary flybys, the evidence points to something more than a comet. It matches what you'd expect from an alien spacecraft using a comet disguise. At this speed, it could cross the entire United States in under 2 minutes, which is mathematically impossible for a comet at this size. The speed alone marks it as a genuine interstellar spacecraft. But it's the path that raises eyebrows. Loeb points out that it's precisely aligned with the orbital plane of Earth and other planets, the thin flat disk in which our entire solar system lies. On top of that, its trajectory brings it unusually close to Venus, Mars, and Jupiter. And in space navigation, passing near a massive planet is a way to steal momentum, a gravity assist, if you will, or a slingshot maneuver that changes a craft's course and speed without using fuel at all. Space agencies plan these trajectories years in advance for deep space probes. And for a random interstellar object to line up multiple times for optimal assist is extraordinarily rare. In fact, Loeb and his colleagues calculated the chance at just 1 in 20,000. So the arrival time is very well selected. And also it's coming from the direction of the center of the Milky Way galaxy where there are lots of stars in the region of the sky. So it was difficult to detect it, and that's why we found out only in July this year. There is another coincidence, or perhaps in Loeb's view another clue: its closest approach to the Sun will occur when Earth is on the opposite side of the Sun. This means that for days or even weeks around late October 2025, 3L's will be completely hidden from our view, eclipsed by the Sun's glare. We will have no optical tracking, no radar contact, no way to monitor what it is doing. This is a normal and unavoidable situation for any object near the Sun's apparent position in the sky. Spacecraft on Mars, for example, are routinely out of contact during solar conjunction. But in this case, that blind period could serve another purpose entirely. If 3L were under intelligent control, that would be the perfect moment to alter its trajectory. Hidden from our gaze, it could fire whatever propulsion system it has, making a subtle course adjustment that would go unnoticed until it re-emerged weeks later. Now, why a comet is the perfect camouflage? Loeb has spent years urging scientists to keep an open mind on the possibility of interstellar technology visiting our solar system. His thinking is straightforward: if we humans have sent probes like Voyager and Pioneer out to the solar system, there's no reason to assume no one else has done the same. In fact, with billions of years more time to develop technology, another civilization could easily send highly advanced probes across the galaxy. One way to do it and remain undetected would be to disguise a craft as a comet. From a scientific perspective, this is both practical and clever. A comet is essentially a rocky core wrapped in volatile ices. As it nears the Sun, those ices vaporize, creating a bright coma and tail that hide the solid object within. Telescopes cannot see through this haze in any detail. And by encasing a spacecraft in a thick shell of ice and dust, you could shield it from cosmic radiation, protect it from micrometeoroids, and most importantly, make it look like a natural comet. Any heat from internal systems would be masked by the chaotic thermal signature of the venting gases, and even radar would be scattered by the rough porous surface. For an observer, it would be indistinguishable from the real thing. The concept of an ice-clad probe is not science fiction. NASA has studied ice shielding for human missions beyond Earth both for radiation protection and potential in-flight resource use. The engineering is sound. The advantage for a covert mission is obvious. No one questions the presence of a comet in a planetary system. It is the perfect camouflage. And so the question becomes, is 3L Atlas just an icy interstellar relic, or is it an engineered vehicle traveling under a comet's guise? Lowe's team lays out the probabilities: a 0.2 chance of its orbital plane alignment happening randomly, a 0.05 chance of the planetary flybys occurring by coincidence, and the conventionally timed sun-hidden period at perihelion. Each factor on its own might be dismissed as luck. Together though, they suggest the possibility, however unlikely some may feel it is, that the trajectory was designed. So how did they find us in the first place? Well, Stephen Hawking cautioned against broadcasting our existence to the cosmos. His concern was simple: any civilization capable of reaching us would almost certainly have technology far beyond our own. They might see us not as equals but as potential threats, a young species advancing quickly towards interplanetary capability. In the dark forest view of the universe, advanced civilizations stay quiet to avoid drawing predators. And when they detect a noisy newcomer, they may choose to act before that newcomer becomes too powerful. It says that the universe is like a dark forest full of hunters. Everyone stays quiet because if you make a sound, you risk being found and eliminated, not out of malice, but survival. And we have had only 1 century of science since quantum mechanics was discovered, only 1 century. They may have had the benefit of millennia, or even millions or billions of years, of knowing much more about technology and science. And so we shouldn't assume anything. Now, if it were designed, what would the mission be? Lowe describes 2 broad categories: friendly or hostile. A friendly mission might be purely exploratory, a robotic scout gathering scientific data, but history, as he warns, offers sobering lessons. The Trojan horse of legend was presented as a gift, but concealed an attack force. In human history, when technologically advanced explorers arrived in lands with less advanced civilizations, the results were rarely beneficial for the latter. The possibility exists that a disguised craft could deploy smaller probes, observe our defenses, or prepare for action less benign than peaceful observation. That said, if it hits Earth at the speed that it's going now, the impact of a 12m-wide object would unleash energy millions of times greater than the most powerful nuclear bomb ever detonated. The impact of a 12m-wide object would be nothing short of civilization ending. Oceans would rise into tsunamis taller than skyscrapers. The skies would burn with global firestorms. Sunlight would vanish behind a shroud of dust for years, and agriculture would collapse. Species, including ours, could vanish. And that's if this was nothing more than just a natural rock. If it's an armed craft, the outcome is beyond anything we can imagine. That said, there are whispers of a program from NASA, informally called Shield 3, aimed at developing a rapid response intercept mission. The concept, as described by those familiar with such planning, would involve modifying an existing high-speed spacecraft design and equipping it to either study the object up close or, if necessary, attempt to disable it. A nuclear payload has been mentioned, though the technical challenges are immense. Matching velocity with an object moving this fast is far beyond our standard chemical rockets. To have any hope of intercepting it, the mission would need to launch early and aim to meet the object far from Earth. For now, the plan is just to watch. If, as it approaches perihelion, it displays the expected dust and gas plume of a comet, most astronomers will be satisfied that it's natural. If it does not, the discussion will change dramatically. The real moment of truth will come after it passes behind the sun and re-emerges. And if it's still on the predicted course, it will likely fade into darkness like Oumuamua before it. If the path has changed in ways that suggest control, we will be looking at something unprecedented. So, do you still think it's just a comet, or is it an alien craft in disguise? Comment below. And if you want to follow every update on this comet, like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. This is one story you won't want to miss.